Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Is this picture beginning to make sense to you? The BBRL, the Brazilian stablecoin, is now on deck. Now, I don't know how many of you guys remember this image from, it was from an old Ripple document describing how XRP is really going to provide value for all these different fiat currencies, popular ones, really the most liquid ones around the world, including the Japanese yen, US dollar, Great British pound, the CNY, Brazilian real, Euro, CHF, Mexican peso, just to name a few, and how you can use XRP to essentially transfer any of these fiat currencies. Now, this was from 2017, 2018. This is when they still had branded their products XRapid, XCurrent, XVIA. And so the interesting thing here that Mr. Mann is pointing out is now we do have the BBRL. So that would be the equivalent of a Brazilian real stablecoin. We have a Japanese stablecoin. We, of course, have the RLUSD. The GBP does have its stablecoin too, CNY. China has a stablecoin. Now we're looking towards the Swiss franc and the Mexican peso. Are those going to be the next corridors? As you guys can see, he does have question marks beside these two countries. Are these going to be the next corridors where we do see a stablecoin being enabled so that their values can be transferred over the XRP ledger seamlessly as well? And I guess I should also mention the Euro stablecoin too. So, we've come a long way since 2017 and 2018. But guys, this vision is bigger than just currencies and cross-border transactions. The real-world asset tokenization, combined with the Internet of Value, is going to be the biggest financial revolution of the century and reshape the digital asset landscape. This coming from Panos here on Twitter, as well as the global financial system. And the XRP ledger will play a big role in that revolution. So we have to remember tokenization, the Internet of Value. Guys, this is going to get so big. And this is why, there's a lot of speculation about how high price could go. When you do have more value running over the XRPL, well, that just means more value will be driven to the XRP ledger, which means more demand will be there for XRP, which means if there is more demand, prices will in fact go higher. That's just price and demand, supply and demand fundamentals. So this is an interesting honeycomb chart here, talking about all the types of things that could be tokenized. And if you look in the realm of art, for example, we've got art, music, visual art, and film. Votes can be tokenized, so that's another big thing that I think maybe DOGE could get on. Voting for public policies over the blockchain would definitely be beneficial. Then we've got assets, financial assets. So this is another big one that we talk about quite a bit. Bond stocks, futures, IOUs, swaps, just to name a few. Contracts and deeds. So this is more of the smart contract platform. Loyalty points, another one. Intellectual property. So now we're moving into NFTs. Money, of course, that's an obvious one. Identity, attestations, reputation, social capital. So there's so much that can be tokenized, and we're not thinking of it. I mean, I guess we are sometimes we do think about it in a compartmentalized way. But, when all this works together, this is where we're going to see true value and true demand for XRP moving forward. So he goes on to say the tokenization of real-world assets refers to the process of digitally representing real-world assets on distributed ledgers and blockchains, or issuing traditional asset classes in a tokenized form. In simple words, it's the concept of digitalizing ownership rights. So that is, kind of the basic concept here. Bonds, commodities, currencies, and real estate, custodied by financial institutions. Then you tokenize those things. They're tokenized on a blockchain and verified. And that's the importance, right? The verification to make sure that there's no scams going on. Tradable across DeFi for deeper liquidity, faster settlement, and access to new markets. He goes on to say, and why would someone do that? Of course, there are benefits. And the efficiency, I think, is the biggest benefit. I've come to realize that I'm a person that really loves efficiency. So, when I see things like government not working well, or systems not working as efficiently as they could, I get this itch, and I'm like, oh, there could be a better way. There's definitely got to be a better way. Anyway, I digress. A large chunk of the world's wealth today is locked in illiquid assets, the majority of which are held by high net worth individuals. There's also an asset class or asset classes only accessible to limited wealthy investors and institutions. So that can also pose a problem sometimes. Tokenized real-world assets connect real-world economic activity with efficiencies of a global 24/7 market powered by blockchain, of course. So we would see improved affordability, enables borderless accessibility. So, different communities around the world, different types of people around the world would have access to certain assets that were illiquid before, that were just, difficult to get access to in general. It unlocks liquidity and enhances flexibility, enforces immutable transparency and accountability, streamlines transaction efficiency, and ensures better price discovery. So price discovery, again, that comes with time and more demand, more organic demand for these digital assets. The tokenization of real-world assets has the potential to significantly reshape the digital asset landscape, as well as the global financial system at large. So Panos here also giving us a list here, 18 different types of use cases, and just kind of describing them there. Again, I will link this in the description of the video if you guys want to go over this again. And then tokenization of e-liquid assets is expected to be a $16 to $68 trillion opportunity globally by 2030. So that's actually quite a large window there. How high is it going to get? $16 to $68 trillion. And this is the global estimate, guys, in just 5 years. Here's the breakdown in terms of tokenized market share, in terms of the percentage of GDP. So listed equities, unlisted equities, and they all represent a color here on this bar graph. Other equities, investment funds, bonds, home equity, other financial assets, and other tokenizable assets. So again, I'm going to leave these charts in the description of the video. Well, I'm going to leave this tweet in the description. You guys can go over this again. And so how do all these connect to the Internet of Value? Until now, trading these assets has required an intermediary like a bank. So in the past, you'd go to the bank, you'd ask the teller, hey, can you do this for me? The teller would be like, yes, absolutely. They'd go behind a curtain. A bunch of people would be doing their thing, working it out. And then you'd come out with the product and they tell you, okay, now you own this or whatever. But blockchain allows any type of asset to be transferred from one party directly to another with no middleman. So there's another aspect to this, and that is, banks are kind of, this does threaten the banking model, the traditional banking model, but I think banks can personally embrace this technology, I guess we could say. If they do embrace it and do it well, it could be beneficial to them, I think, moving forward. And I actually think it could increase their customer base over time just because of the efficiencies. By creating a shared ledger where people can own their own data, it also enables a shift in the locus of value within economies to individuals and networks. So the Internet of Value, guys, is a concept proposed by Ripple that envisions a world where value moves and it's exchanged like information is exchanged today in the Internet age. The Internet of Value can enable the exchange of any asset that is of value to someone, including stocks, votes, I think he said here. Yeah, the votes, frequent flyer points, securities, intellectual property, music, scientific discoveries, and more. A truly interconnected world. On a macroeconomic level, the Internet of Value could also help drive down the cost of goods and transactions as the liquidity would increase. In today's country-specific systems, companies and banks must tie up large sums of money in local currencies for this to work. So those were the former Nostro and Vostro accounts. The potential use cases are plenty, from instant transactions and real-time settlement to tokenization of assets, lending smoother international trade, more robust digital agreements, and more. So guys, tokenization and the Internet of Value, ultimately, the use of this technology will facilitate a financial revolution that will leave everyone more financially connected, empowered, and enabled. Well, at least that is the ideology. And in principle, it could work that way. I think the powers that be do still probably want to have somewhat, some control over this. I do think it will streamline a lot of processes. I do think it will be beneficial for banks in the long run if they know how to adopt it properly. But ultimately, everything of value is going to be tokenized. We've heard Larry Fink say the same thing from BlackRock. And so for bankers, some, I guess, are getting excited. Maybe others are a little trepidatious. Nevertheless, wanted to thank Panos for bringing this description our attention. And thanks so much, Panos, for laying this out for us. An easily digestible, I think, way to describe this. And also wanted to thank Mr. Mantu for that first tweet. Now, XRP drops, guys, bringing this to our attention. Apparently, PricewaterhouseCoopers, the Portugal arm, they just highlighted Ripple in what looks like a LinkedIn post. On February the 18th, PricewaterhouseCoopers and Ripple hosted an exclusive event in Lisbon where industry leaders gathered to discuss how blockchain and digital assets can streamline cross-border payments and unlock new opportunities for financial institutions. The initiative served as an opportunity to explore real-world use cases of digital assets, to share insights on innovation and international payments, and to learn strategies to stay competitive in the digital economy. So guys, here it is. I will link this in the description. PwC Portugal, so that's PricewaterhouseCoopers, big international company, working together with Ripple to discuss how the Internet of Value can benefit, industry and individuals alike. So that's interesting news. Wanted to thank XRP Drops for posting that. Coming back to the United States of America, apparently Montana becomes the fourth state to push forward crypto reserve legislation. This courtesy of Michael Branch. The bill now moves to the full House for a vote. If approved, it will will move to the Senate and then to the governor. If signed, it will become law on January the 1st, 2025. So that would be big. Representative Curtis Schumer introduced the bill as it was entitled an act creating a state-specific revenue account for investment in precious metals and digital assets, and determined by the Board of Investors, providing definitions, providing for a transfer, and providing an effective date. Well, that's a long title. The bill is designed to create an investment strategy for Montana's state funds by using a mix of assets as a hedge against inflation. This defines the digital assets as virtual currencies, cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, non-fungible tokens, and other digital assets offering economic or access rights. According to the bill, exchange-traded products like those linked to commodities or stocks will be permissible investments. Additionally, precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum in any form, whether coins or bullion, are included. Down here it also says, meanwhile, Montana is one of the many U.S. states in a race to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. According to Bitcoin laws, as of February, at least 20 states have introduced similar legislation. So they're really kind of gunning to include cryptocurrencies, and whether it's Bitcoin specifically or cryptos as a whole, I mean, I'm sure it would be. I'm sure the guys that are researching this, they do realize there isn't just one cryptocurrency that is of value. Having it or naming it a Bitcoin reserve, I think, would probably maybe. I guess give people a sense of where they're going with it. Bitcoin's the most popular cryptocurrency, obviously. So to call it that, I think would give the population kind of an idea of where any particular state is going with it. But I think it would benefit the state to diversify, and any kind of traditional economist would say this. So creating a crypto reserve specifically, not just focused on Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, I think that could be a benefit. But I guess we will have to see what comes out of this. Wanted to thank Michael for posting that. And guys, another one here from Eleanor Turret, according to a source that recently spoke with the SEC. Okay, the agency is very, very interested in staking, even asking industry for a memo detailing the different types of staking and their benefits. This source expects to see some kind of agency guidance on staking in the near future, as it's a topic they're engaging enthusiastically on. So this has to do with staking. The SEC did acknowledge the CBOE's 19B4 filing seeking approval for staking in 21 shares core Ethereum ETF. So now the questions are getting a little more complicated. I mean, at first it was asking permission to even allow an ETF or an exchange-traded fund product to be traded legally in the United States. And now we're seeing these companies saying, okay, well, if we get the approval, what's the deal with staking? Can we delve into that realm yet? Because there is so much possibility that revolves around cryptocurrencies that these guys want to find every possible way to make money that they can. And this extends to their clients too, right? Their clients, they're working for their clients. They want their clients to make money. So where does staking fall, SEC, is essentially what they're saying. So guys, it's starting to ramp up very fast. So much so that even ChatGPT seems to be catching up. This courtesy of Chad Steingraber, retweeting out the Rowan Exchange's tweet here. Crypto Basic just published an article. And what ChatGPT is saying now is that a $10,000 XRP isn't crazy. It's actually conservative. Prominent entities in the XRP community have reignited discussions on long-term valuation of the token. In particular, they are suggesting that a $10,000 price target might not just be realistic for XRP, but could in fact be a conservative price target. Notably, leading the conversation this time are the Rowan Exchange and John Squire, a commentator with 510,000 followers on X. The argument centers around the institutional adoption, supply dynamics, and XRP's potential role in global finance. Now, when we do take a look at what ChatGPT spits out here, it is quite interesting here. Here was the Rowan Exchange tweet, and essentially they're looking at many different factors here. This was page 2, I believe. If we look at this finite supply, so they talk about supply shock and discussing the concept of the current supply in the ecosystem, and if that supply is being hoarded by whether it's retail or institutional, it could trigger an extreme supply squeeze. XRP is the number one crypto. I mean, there's discussions that could happen too. The network effect and branding. I mean, we've talked about the flywheel effect many times on this channel in the past. So a $25,000 XRP scenario would mean a market cap in the quadrillions, which does sound extreme, but if XRP underpins global liquidity movements, it's not impossible. If fiat hyperinflation accelerates and institutions tokenize real-world assets on the XRP ledger, we could see price levels that seem unimaginable today. Let me remind you guys what Panos was saying back in this tweet thread here. Where was it again? Yeah, this tokenization of e-liquid assets is expected to be $16 to $68 trillion. And that's a $16 to $68 trillion opportunity globally by the year 2030. So 5 years away still. Again, this is probably not imminent, but guys, $25,000 for an XRP. So ChatGPT also considering hyperinflation, accelerating this. The bottom line, if XRP truly becomes the backbone of global finance, cross-border settlements, and institutional liquidity, your numbers aren't just possible, they might just be conservative. Again, coming from AI. So is this a possibility? And by the way, no, this was number one in the series, but I guess we kind of got down to the bottom of it regardless. I do think it is possible. And guys, think of all the other applications. Like we were saying before, Paul Barron was even mentioning some of the connections between Ripple, the XRP ledger, and certain different companies that already leverage the XRPL. Now, when you consider this, consider what Trump is doing now with Doge. What are the possibilities moving forward?
This is the company that basically is a backbone for payments. It's going to be a tech story, and right here on the Fiserv's website, best-in-class capabilities, all, of course, on cryptocurrency solutions. So all of that starting to point to some other areas. This was a statement back in 2018, guys. This is 2018, November of 2018. Execs from Ripple, Fiserv, Zelle discuss blockchain payment and instant transfers. So the point being is this has been connected for quite some time. Is it a turnkey solution that literally could hit the ground running? In other words, you don't have to go out and build it. It's there today. So that's something that is very intriguing. One other area I want to take a look at is the Faster Payments Council. This is a government entity out there. And when you go in and look in and dig into their board and the members, we have somebody else showing up. This is James Selleck, also on Ripple. So tied into Faster Payments. You look further into, this was the Federal Reserve document that goes into the Faster Payments task force participants. And I'll zoom in on that. There's Ryan Zangone. He is, of course, also with Ripple. We haven't seen a ton of companies that are in the blockchain space in here, but Ripple is there. So again, more tied into faster payments. Remember, Ripple is cornerstone of where SWIFT was over the past 35 years. Ripple is kind of that new potential of being able to move money around the world. Could they go down to the retail level and get into this is the question. Other things I want to hit on, of course, this is Donald Trump on Truth Social. He hits on a couple of points right here. He tweeted twice about this. And what he's talking about is the effect of the Trump bump on Ripple Labs. Now, remember, Ripple is a U.S.-based company. So that's another factor that comes into it, much like what I was talking about on my poll, is the companies that are going to be involved in Doge or any kind of activity around the government. I think there will be multiple blockchains, by the way. They're all going to be American crypto companies. There's no way that Trump is going to allow that outside of the United States. So that in itself, I think, is more sign that we could see some more push that way. Now, when you look at why are they focusing in on these areas, and when you look at two of the things, or actually several of the scenarios that are the most expenditures of the U.S. government, Social Security at 21%, Medicare at 15%. So
the clip unfortunately ends there, going into more detailed U.S. expenses. But did you catch what Paul Barron did say? Trump is not going to let this technology go to any other type of blockchain. It's going to be American. And he thinks, it might not just be one blockchain. However, I think the XRP community has spoken. I think Ripple is, it is currently the company that is best suited to conglomerate and distill down the inefficiencies that is currently government. So will Doge run on the XRPL? I mean, it is a possibility. We know Donald Trump already has a relationship with Ripple. I also just wanted to play you guys this clip. Listen to this.
When Doge convinces Donald Trump to go on American blockchain for full transparency, which one would they select? Well, as you can see right there, this thing is still going, and it's XRP at 87.7% right now. Now, remember, this is only you have a max of 4 choices on X. So if you guys are out there checking out this poll, let me know in the comments on Twitter there, because I don't, there may be some other chains that you feel that might work for where this is going.
I guess the XRP community has spoken. Will Donald Trump choose XRP? Is Doge ready to move on the blockchain. 2025 is still just beginning. I think there's a bright future ahead for cryptocurrency adoption, especially in the United States, of course, including XRP, my favorite. But that's just my opinion. And for more information on what I think is going to happen during this bull run, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Again, just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.